Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Very good. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm running a little behind. We had a meeting at Green Street, and I actually met up with the AV sub, the consultant, and so I had to catch up on a little bit of the wiring and what's been included and kind of what Jack has chosen for all the controls of the wall. So I wanted to make sure that that was all in place before I talk to you.
Yeah, no doubt. That's certainly no problem at all.
Yeah. So I basically wanted to, another helpful thing is I got the site condition laid out so that I could figure out exactly what we can and can't do. So I was following the conversation between you and Melissa over email, and I just wanted to kind of throw in kind of what we could do and what we couldn't do. Right now, so for the paint, we're working with a metal manufacturer that does all the, is going to customize the gate for us. So he's going to basically build his gate to what we need for the lock, for that 1290 fail secure lock. And the wiring, he can kind of build in the wiring if he needs to cover it up as we run it from the inside over to the locking mechanism. What we have, I guess, for the front door, I know we were talking, I know it was spoken about putting the locking mechanism into the jamb, but based on the framing size that we have there, we basically have jack posts and king posts and pretty much no other space at that door to get the lock into the framing. So that is going to be an issue. So we have to go into the door.
Yeah. And
so I guess from your conversation, what are the things I need to bring up with Jack to help him make his decision? Because I don't think he's going to get everything he wants. He's going to have to give up something to make this happen the way he wants it to happen, is what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not familiar with the construction of the door, but Melissa has said they can't do a raceway. Okay, so if we can't get low voltage through the door, then you know which you can. I mean, you can drill 2 holes down through the top rail all the way down to where it would have to come to a hinge in the jamb. Actually, you would probably drill them through the bottom. And then you would have to drill a hole from the edge, from each edge, in order to get the power out of the hinge to that. Forgive me. So imagine your rectangular shaped door in elevation. So we need to get power through there. So somehow they're going to have to drill at least 1 and possibly as many as 4 holes in order to get that through and around. I understand it's a 1 light door. Well, if they drilled through the hinge pocket, let's say the second from the bottom, and went in 3 inches or 4 inches, whatever the style width is, and then from the bottom rail of the door, that same, let's say at 4-inch or 3-inch backset, drilled all the way up from the bottom to where that hole will intersect. And then they can have to route a channel or route the channel for the automatic door bottom deeper. Having said that, and I say all of that because I know it's possible, but it may not be possible because your door distributor is saying, listen, we conceptualize that it's possible, but we're not able, we can't do it for you. So if you can't get power through the door, then that just is where all of that ends.
Got it. And so then I guess the question becomes, if the contractor finds a way to do it, that would be an issue for the warranty of the door. There's no question that, and you know,
and I only probe in that warranty area of conversation because been there, done that. I've had the rope around my neck, and I've learned the hard way, and I know what what ropes they have lurking behind their back when it comes to a warranty claim. So all of this would be a problem. And that field finishing, that is their catch-all to, not that it would happen, but 1 out of 100 times or 1 out of 1,000 times it does.
Yep, the door fails, and they're looking for a way to not pay for it, and they use this to get out of it.
Right. Would it be different if that electric deadbolt went up into the header at all? It would be impractical to get a key cylinder up there, but Jack would only use it. And I apologize for the familiarity. I just don't know the owner's last name. Okay. He would only need to use that in the event of his power and hardware failing. So if the construction of the header is different, many of those electric deadbolts are indeed installed in the top rail or the header of the opening, but I don't like my point of bolting so far away from where I'm going to put my hands on the door, potentially twisting the door.
Got it. So it would make sense to put it right at the front, like not the latch side of the door, but up at the top of the door, almost like a Cremone bolt for the door.
Exactly, and the body would have to be in the header, just because the idea is that you could get low voltage to that part of the rough opening or behind the buck that's there.
And then we could almost could we tell them to route like a center channel in the door, just like they're doing for the Penco suite? That would then give them that raceway to send the wire through? Because you're never going to see the top of the door.
Well, I mean, the only thing that would go into the top of the door would be the rectangular piece of metal that would be the strike.
Got it. But you'd still have to send power. Oh, but you're saying if you put the lock into the header space, which I don't know if they can do that structurally, but I can check.
Yeah. You might use more freedom at the header than you do at the jams.
Okay, so then are there any other, like the parts that you sent, are there any other issues with any of the other parts that you sent?
I think so. It's been disclosed. Our original conversation about the weight of the door and the size of the door, that's evolved. So Melissa has told me that the door is going to be about 280 pounds, and there's no way that I'll get LCN to say, yes, that overhead concealed closer is warranted for 280 pounds, plus the hardware that will be put onto the door. So Melissa's response was, just go with it. And I know that it will work, but it is exposing the client to knowingly proceeding outside of the known designed limits of what that closer is meant to handle in terms of door weight.
Got it. So if there is an issue, then that would be one way to get out of it. Could we?
Yeah. So there are no overhead closers rated. When you get past about 250 pounds, that's when overhead concealed closers stop. Surface closers stop in terms of capability, and then you get into floor closers, which would be, a large body that would be mounted down in the floor with grout masonry poured all the way around it, and it would be a spectacular success in terms of swinging that door for decades, but it does open us up to other trouble with conflicting hardware.
Got it. Okay, so conflicting hardware as in?
The automatic door bottom.
Oh, yeah, because we can't put the door going all the way through.
Yeah, it's the, with a door that's 2 1/4, it would be better if the door was 3 inch at that regard. So yeah, that would be an issue.
But could we, instead of having it like a middle raceway door bottom, would we then ask for something that puts it into more of like a off center door bottom, which would
Sure.
then be continuous, either on the end, because we do have no threshold. So we could literally put that Penco anywhere we want, or the door bottom anywhere we want to in the door bottom, as long as there's a finish so you don't see the side of it. So it doesn't have to run through the center of the door. If the Rixon is, or if the pivot, the closer is on the bottom, but it's offset not to the center, it could be the door bottom could be put on one side of it and the closer on the other. Would that work, or would that create its own set of complications?
Well, the automatic door bottom would have to be biased towards the inside face. And 2 1/4, that is, I'm looking at the template, bear with me.
Yep.
That's 3/4, that's 1 3/16, and that's probably 3/16, 1 3/8, 7/8, and that door is 2 1/4. Let's look at one and a 16th. Yeah, there would be an arm that we would be able to get put into there, but it would have to be there would be so little wood left at 2 1/4 that it would be absolutely not advisable.
Okay, got it.
The bottom arm is just too wide.
So I think for this to work, then the only real solution, if Jack is okay, I mean, if he wants everything he wants, is to give up on the 1 3/4. Is to say, it will work, but nothing here is rated, which I don't know if he'll want to do. In some things he's okay with it, but in other things, I think in functionality, I don't think he's going to want to put himself in that position. I wouldn't recommend that he put himself in that. So
I agree.
So then,
I do.
So does that work the same way even with having the additional hardware on it? Like, if the weight of the door is taken by the soft hinges, isn't the weight of the door not as much of an impact with the door closer? Because the weight is taken by the regular hinges?
Yeah, I mean, that would be true for any hanging device, but it's really the mass of the door. It's still, the amount of force it takes to move it from, basically a stationary position and get it moving. If that's a 100-pound door, the amount of force it takes to move it is X. But if it's a 300-pound door, you see where that's going.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the issue. Okay, let me talk about it with Jack, and then I will see where we want to go. I mean, it seems like this is going down a rabbit hole that really has not a very good solution for anything.
Yeah. What could be done? What could be done is if that floor closer was ordered with an extended bottom spindle, let's say an extra 2 inches in length, and that arm was mortised substantially deeper into the door so that the automatic door bottom could literally sit underneath the bottom arm of the closer. That would be possible as well. What I don't like about it is that arm is going to, first of all, the hardware is no longer concealed when we go to a floor closer. You're going to see the bottom knuckle and the top pivot, so that's the problem with that. But if that sacrifice was the least worst of sacrifices, I think you could probably shoehorn that in. But to me that would look odd. I would wonder what they did there to have to mortise that so much deeper or further off the floor.
And
it would not be ideal.
And do you know what kind of build-up, like floor, what's the distance they would need from the subfloor up to Because I think we have a lot, but I'd have to check with the contractor.
Yeah, it would probably have to be 3 inches.
Sorry, what was that?
It would have to be probably 3 inches from the floor to how much further up that arm would have to be mortised. It would look unusual.
Got it. It would go through the bottom, up into the door, 3 inches.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me check. Yeah, I need to go over this with Jack. Let me see when he's available. If he's available, you're done in about 2 hours?
More like 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
But if you were, yeah, but after like 4 o'clock your time tonight, I could be available as well because I'll be at home actually at my desk come 7 o'clock Eastern, so I could get on a phone call then too.
Okay, great. Let me call Jack and see what his availability is, and I'll try not to do that, but I may need to because I'm in a meeting for the rest of the day, and then I can get back. And then, did you say you were available tomorrow?
I'm not. Well, I will be. I have to travel to Dallas, so after about 11 o'clock. After about 9 o'clock your time tomorrow, I should be in Dallas, able to be on a phone.
Okay, great, perfect. So then let me, is like about maybe 11 or 12 my time good for you in Dallas?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Great.
I'm available. I'll be working all afternoon.
Okay, great, perfect. So let me coordinate with Jack, and I'll try to get that time for tomorrow, and then I will give you a call back.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Richard.
Bye-bye. Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.